Thank you for enjoying your sweetest moments, merging timelines. I'm your host, Melly Mel's, an angelic melody Melanie, the airy fairy mystic. Today, we're getting on again for a general reading, general collective reading. This reading is intended for the collective, those of us who resonate with being the chosen one. These messages are to help us along our ascension journey. So I'm really excited to get into today because I have notes again, family. 2 pages worth of notes that I'm going to start off the reading with. They're not in any particular order. So I just wanted to see how it flows. As you know, my reading style is changing. I don't know if it's really changing, as I'm being more intentional with who I am reading for, who I want to read for, rather. It'll always merge timelines, so obviously I'll read for the other pathways, but this portion is intended for the collective. So whenever I bring these messages, I'm not sure what I'll call them yet. Right now, just conversations with the Most High. Let's get into it. So to start off, we all agree that our main instrument is the temple. I've been seeing some questions about the 144 frequency and the debate, of course, the polarity within being there, arriving to there, and getting there. Family, always 3 angles in a 3rd dimension. So wherever we feel like, and I mean, I do say we, right? Wherever we are vibrating within our sea, wherever we feel like along this journey, we just naturally are. And we own that. That's a part of the I am, the 144 frequency. Sorry, could be seeing 444 a lot. I truly believe that this is where that sailorship comes from. You know, the independent sailor has to identify within which angle it feels like it is. And to each his own, right, family? To each his own. No judgment, right? It's not Judgment Day. Let's say that this is your truth, and so you own it, individual sense of character. And we'll know that because right now we're connecting as a family. You're watching me like a TV show, so we're connecting as family. But once we get out of this time and space shared, it is up to our individual sense of character to decide in which angle do we see ourselves. Okay? I've also seen alienation being a topic, whether people resonate with aliens, whether people find themselves alienated, or whether the collective is being accused of being alienated themselves or alienating themselves. Again, to each his own, but the difference I do see in the collective and the word alienation is that we're different, collective. We're different because we choose to be. We choose to bring our own self-expression into the scene that we are participating in. But it doesn't mean that we're separate from anyone. So I do say that because I know the collective could be seen as someone who's pushed others away, and people say, oh, they're alienating themselves. They don't want to be like anyone. They want to be weird. They want to be different. No, the collective wants to be themselves. You know, they genuinely want to bring their sense of character to life, and they want to mix and mingle with people who are working on their own self as well. So for people who see us this way, they may resonate with this identity of aliens. I kind of saw that they saw you as an alien, But then I wanted to take that back. It's not that way. They may make fun or mock you as if you could be the alien, since you are the conspiracy theorist or the in separation. Only in Mind's world. I want to point out that the collective has never cut cords that they didn't intend to repair, right? I think at the point that you cut cords is beyond its repair. You've tried to pick up the line and communicate the things that you felt inside, but when they weren't going to be received on the other end, it ended up being a one-sided conversation. And so in order to not feel like someone is sucking your identity dry because it refuses to acknowledge it, yet it sees it, but it just doesn't want to acknowledge it. At that sense, it's not giving life to who it wants to be and the things that it wants to address in order to feel as though it can vibe freely. I don't know where we're going there, but we're going to get out of that topic. It was a very deep topic, alienation. So judgment comes from within. And never doubt the orchestration, family, because I also wanted to bring this angle in this time and space as something that I continue to feel as though I am up against, right? Meaning it's outside of me, but I do see it coming in, right? So these are the things, collective, that we resonate as things that we'll have to put up our boundaries against because we see them coming from a distance. I just want us to remember, myself included, that judgment comes from within. And so we should never discredit nor doubt the Most High's orchestration. We're changing our individual world to see a different internal world. Okay? And I see a lot of people not realizing that their offsprings are not their individual world, right? The individual world is the root of the offspring. But some of us tend to use the offspring in order to manipulate the outcome they want out of another. This family can't work. You know, it just expresses a sense of lack of faith and misguided, misunderstood intention. I hope that you follow me here. It's a topic that's very near and dear to my own heart, so I swim shallow in it, but it's a very deep topic. And so with that saying, I just want to say that mental health is real, family, and that the first world that we live in is the mind's world, and it multiplies through our seeds, okay? And we always talk about the Trinity. The true Trinity is Father, Mother, Child, and it will always be answered in that regard. Everything else is an outside perspective. So as I'm intentionally reading for the collective, we do recognize it's the world that we choose for ourselves and the wholeness that we vibe within 3 angles. I'm going to continue the reading as I'm doing the rest of it. I just feel called to, so let's just go with it. I just want to touch also on the astrological signs. I will be going through those 12 zodiac signs after the month of September. I think it's fair to just give the time of the parting of the seas. In my opinion, for whatever it's worth, family, the parting of seas is about the inner child. And some of our inner child has swam in the opposite direction of the masses, and that's why they've been called the black sheep. And the other set of the inner child, other group within this parting of sea, the white world, the light world, the false light world, is going to kind of conform back to its father. It's either literal father, it's structure within system, or it's just living for the validation of something that it gives power to. So that's the divide, the black sheep or the false world. And that's what I resonate with as the parting of seas for whatever it's worth, okay? And so after this time frame, I would just anchor in myself. And that's what I'm doing. I'm anchoring in myself during the September, the month of September, right? When changes are happening, in order to put us in alignment with the part of the field that we feel called to exist in. And it's an inner calling that you answer. It is literally something that you click and say, this is where I am. That's why I say we have to own this 144 frequency. We have to own it, family. Or else we're in the parting of the sea. All right. Magicians bring all elements to the table, right? So everything that we're up against within the emotional and physical world, we can bring to ourselves collective. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you could be in the middle of the parting of the seas. You could be on either side. But if you understand what is being separated at this time, then you may be one of the magicians of your reality, based off of your ability to bring to the table your own tools, your own studies. This is the person that shows up to class. They have all of their supplies, and they've also done their independent research. Some people research through books, and others use their experiences. I don't believe either trumps the other, personally, just personally. I've never been a book smart person, and conforming has been something that I'm extremely disgusted by. You can ask my family members. I have a twin sister, and she was always asked if I made it to class. So I respect individuality, but I also respect people who dedicate their time to study and learn what was in order to find the same space of creation, free space. All right, so we're getting into our reading now. I had so many notes. We're already 12 minutes in, and I feel like I've chat the entire time. I would really appreciate if you could give me some sort of feedback. Let me know how you enjoyed the messages. What do you think about the conversations in the beginning? And if we should continue doing it. I think it's going to be helpful, but please feel free to let me know. I also want to say, for that other moment that I was talking about with the Trinity, I grew up in a family that recognizes its children before its creator, right? The creator would be the harmonized respect within the polarity. If you are only seeing this outside of you, I ask you to look inside of you and say, in what places do I need to become whole? Because it multiplies, and the wheel will turn in time that you allow it to come full circle, family. Some people aren't going to get that message, and that's okay, but here we are with the age of Aquarius. I always have to say, Aqua gang gang. It's no shade. The importance in speaking the truth is because we followed false light, family. So conforming to the persona, the image, is what is being identified as we multiply. So we need to heal what we've demonstrated to others to come into wholeness. And they'll make us do this down to our fragmentation. I want you to know that even when you look into your kids, you'll see some parts of yourself that is still fragmented, still split within mind's reality. Okay, so if you're blessed enough to have children, look into that for yourself. I do believe that the Most High does this orchestration in order for us to come into our own selves. And if you are just looking from one angle, like you're just the single parent and there isn't a harmonized connection, then look into yourself as to what you would want for the other to create these three angles. We're always trying to come into our own wholeness and honor our temple and our mind's world, because at some point in our lives, we remember a time when we didn't honor it, we didn't answer it, we ignored its call. So always internalize what you consume, even from myself. Take what fits, discreet what doesn't, and allow it to just shift you more and more into your individual being. Thank you for being here with me and sitting through these 15 minutes of messages. We haven't even gotten to the cards yet, but 15 minutes of messages, I'm done. I hope that it wasn't too painful, family. Thank you, Most High, for allowing me to be a clear and open space for those of us who will gather for the message. Please bring forth what we need to hear the most at this time. This is for the collective, a collective reading. Thank you so much for being here, guys. All right, so for the collective in our environment, what do we need to see, Most High? What do we need to see regarding our environment? So we have the Wheel of Fortune in our past, and we have the Nine of Wands. So there's something that we're not wanting to speak about that's happening around us. Not speaking about it could be a very good thing, collective, right? So I'm going to always try to create these three angles, but the reason why I say it's a good thing is because you know that there's something about your individual mind, your individual thoughts, surrounding something that's happening around you that, let's go back to the parting of seas, has the tendency to fall right in between and go right back from side to side. Remember in Libra season, or in the last Libra reading I believe we did, we were talking about washing machine and how I was seeing the black and white as a washing machine. You come out into your being once you've done this spiral in it, in a sense. And so there's a part of this spiral that's still happening around you, but you're not discussing it with others because you're shifting away from feeling as if that is something that you'll continue to live in, and you're saving your energy. You've been pulling back. Maybe whatever you feel like tends to bring you there, you step out of, because you recognize that that's what it's been trying to tell you to do all along. Okay, if we can't control the way that it makes us feel and think, then maybe we should just cut the ties or the connections that we have with it short as it can be, family. So there's something there that's happening around you in your past. Again, the past world, however that resonates with you, could be happening physically around you, mentally around you, or just something that you still feel is part of your structure, a part of your structured world. Your structure world would be what the conditions of society would see you to be. Sometimes we can't step out of that, family. Sometimes we can't step out of that as quick as we want to, because its connectivity involves the paper timeline. All right, let's see what happens in our heart space. Thank you. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords there. So yes, I think what they really want us to, it's the Six of Swords with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. It doesn't seem like it's a good message so far, but I assure you, it really is just pointing out that we are pulling back to create another world for ourselves. Okay? You're in control of your thoughts. That's why we open with the messages. And I think that the messages really will help those of us who aren't in the being yet, because what I was reading was just my being. And now I'm stepping into tarotism. I'm getting into the land of the distortion with us as we get through these cards, right? Because we know, collective, that when we're really open and when we really see what's around us, we don't need our tools. We just use them because they help us bring more awareness in our becoming. But once we've gotten to that, again, 144 frequency, you hold the keys to your own kingdom. Okay? So you're communicating some things to some people of your past world, and you're telling them this is the way it goes, and this is the way it's going to go from here on out. What they don't see is that sometimes it can be even hard for you to commit to, but nonetheless, it's in your heart space. And once you feel it, there's an undeniable sense of awareness that you have surrounding it that will make it like the sore thumb in your reality. It'll make it the subject of anything that you talk about. This is like the traumatic experience that every time you get a minute to speak on it, you speak on it. And the reason why you're speaking on it so frequently is because you really just want to absolve yourself of every part of its existence. Right? So you're trying to empty it out little by little, whether you're literally dumping pails outside of your ship or you're throwing the water out through any way that you can. You're really just trying to empty your temple. I like how a lot of these messages are coming from the very beginning of the reading. Feels like something I'll just continue to do. I have the Hermit here for your influence. So you've been forced to go within more and more and more. And what does this look like? It looks like when the things around you are not even that they're saying no. They're just not something that interests you anymore. They're not something that, this is saying, there we go. 10 of Cups, 4 of Cups. I can't. Like, this is the vibe. You feel like the things around you just don't interest you anymore. They don't make you feel anything. So what you want is to be in a space that you feel resembles what you're trying to get to. The healing that you're trying to get to, I feel, even because of the Hermit, right? You've been really, really working on how you're going to navigate your own individual seas with all of this awareness, with all of this self-expression, and also all that's around you, because we don't talk about what becomes the threat to the self-expression enough, because I feel like it tends to be an ego topic. But I'm going to start talking on it because it's been something that I've dealt with from people I've been very near and dear with in the past, and to places where it even makes you feel like you're going to be misunderstood. There is something serious about someone stealing another person's character, another person's being. And it happens, family. There's a lack of individuality because of the lack of self-awareness. I think I'll speak on that on another topic, because this reading just doesn't feel like that vibe here. It doesn't feel like I want to bring that vibe. So let's continue. What's going on in our presence? Unless, of course, that pops up to be our presence. Yeah, it's 4 cards for the presence. Maybe we just need to talk about what's going on right now. We're taking charge of our own reality. And this comes with a big, 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 big deal of responsibility, family. It really does. When you're looked at the one to lead others, you end up juggling both the realities of people around you and the realities of your own. And this could be within your job. Maybe you're a boss, you're a manager. This could be your home, you manage your kids. Or this could just be you managing the other part of yourself, right? So 3 angles, the shadow part of yourself. So we all pick which angle in time and space we belong to. But this is speaking about the 7 of Swords in reverse. So looking back on times, or let's see, thinking about times when we've felt as though we became bored with certain things. The boredom made us make decisions that were against our own morals and standards. The reason why, family, is because at times we felt like we were in stuck positions, and the desperation to come out of this stillness that you feel like someone else has put you in is real. I'll say that. Maybe we don't resonate with it. Maybe we'd like to say we don't resonate with it, but I would beg to say, family, let's look into this a little deeper. Not everything of us is love and light, right? And so we're here to accept the parts of ourselves that it took to come into becoming. And part of that is recognizing where our 4 walls had a doorway that didn't need to be there, right? Because individuality is real. Being yourself is a gift. So we're going back on our own thoughts about how this happened and how we became someone who was fixed in doing things that would be seen as uncomfortable, against the laws of correspondence, even what we would know to be of the Most High, right? So what were those things? We're going to be looking at those more and more over this time frame. Maybe we've been looking at those things in order to do some cleanup for ourselves, right? To really, 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 really look at ourselves and say, okay, what time did that happen? Why did it happen? What are we going to do about it happening, and when? When is now, family? Because we're looking at it right now. And all we have is the here and now. So as we're merging our timelines and we're speaking of the past, the present, and the future, right? The dad world, the mother world, where we give birth to how we want to feel, and our child. Let's go another angle here. The light world, what we know, the dark world, what we're finding out about ourselves and where we're headed as a result of the things that we can identify within its individuality. Okay, let's get into our future, what's to come for us. We're working on our mind's world, and we're brushing up on the things that we know aren't of the 144 frequency. Only we can decide, because everyone gets to decide what their kingdom looks like. They've made the offer to have it, right? But not full offer just yet. It's a playful offer. So we have to ask ourselves, why are we being so playful with its gesture? And what part of it do we feel like we doubt ourselves or doubt its manifestation? We want this happily ever after type of vibe. What part of us are still conflicted with ourselves? Because this isn't others. This is the individual mind world, okay, that we're clearing out. I really like the last message was about the I am energy and coming into the fact that the only power outside of us has been the one that we've externalized. And so now that we realize that, we also have to do introspection. We also have to rethink the times that we thought otherwise. And why did we feel otherwise? And what did we do because we felt otherwise? Those are important things to explore. Okay, and our advice, please. Our advice is to continue to manage both worlds. Okay, manage those worlds with the ones that you have within you and the one around you. I really feel like this goes I feel like this doesn't get said enough, that there is something so beautiful about being able to maintain yourself while vibing with others. It's the strength within the individual the individual soul, individual sense of character. It really does bring it so much, I want to say stability, stamina, but that's not what it is. It builds it so much. There's something that's building up when you do that. Security even, but that's not the word I'm looking for. It's something else. But let's just continue because we're already 30 minutes in, and I don't know if you guys are going to enjoy this very, 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 very long message, but we'll see if we want to stop. I don't feel to stop just yet, so I'm going to continue. You guys know me, 22 minutes, 30 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm tired, I'm done. But I don't feel that way right now, so I'm going to continue to vibe in this for a little bit longer with us. See what else we can gather from these messages. Thank you, Most High. So we have the Wheel of Fortune here, and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. What's been this cycle that we continue to repeat around us? Okay, so this in and out based off of not knowing where we wanted to be, where we were passionate about being. This family, we have to say within ourselves, I think comes from the fact that you're not really taught to explore or take risks as much as you'd like. You feel like you don't have the power to do so when you're even being called to do so. Remember, in Alice in Wonderland where she kind of has to sneak off into this adventure. It's not like something that she told her parents, hey, bye, I'm going to go here and I'll let you know when I'll be back. It's not like that, family. You kind of just get lost in it, and at some point you're in the current to its own survival. You're gonna sink or swim. And so that was us sinking or swimming. And again, washing machine comes up again, the light world, the dark world, only to become more and more into your internal being, your own individual being. The Six of Swords here. Tell me about the Six of Swords within this tendency to slip into a mind's world that we no longer live in, but sometimes we might feel its remembrance. I see this with somebody that we've wanted forgiveness from. They have had this sense of false start with us. They never really realized that they weren't being themselves, but they are expecting forgiveness. Or you're wanting to give this person you're wanting to ask this person for forgiveness. It really doesn't happen this way, family, but it's happening in your individual mind's world, so we have to talk about it. 7, 8, so we have the 8 of Swords here, and it's in your mind's world again, very, very conflicted about something that you feel individually. So we're taking it nice and slow, turning just the page of the book, not really in the depth of it, right, in our being, but we've been turning the pages. We've been starting this world. It's the year of 7, family. We have to own that this is the year. And so our 144 frequency is something that you have to grab off the shelf for yourself and put it on and say, I am doing this. I am becoming more balanced within my own polarity. I'm harmonizing myself and then the connections I vibe with around me, no matter how long it takes, no matter what it looks like. That is the goal. The Hermit. Tell me about the Hermit. All right, so the Hermit is clarified with the Empress in reverse. It talks about the longevity of our legacy. It's on a very peaceful mind's realm. And I do mean like one that says that it can rest. It feels as though the people around it doesn't have to overthink or worry. It can close both eyes when it goes to sleep. At some point, we didn't feel that way, and that's something that we're just learning to let go of. and forgive ourselves. You know, it does come from a very fixed state. And what I mean by it comes from a fixed state is because it was actually here. It was in our physical. So once it becomes physical, it is something that is in our physical state. Our third dimension, it's undeniable, family. It's undeniable. But it also leaves you a room to say and give yourself individual power. Because if you can go against what you've already advertised, wow, look at that from the beginning of the reading coming right back. After that, you guys remember that part of the subject where we were talking about the false light and the personas. At some point, we forgave ourselves. We became the black sheep, and we learned to fight for the individuality that we feel, because no one else could absolve us of the feelings it took to find our own awareness. Wow. Let's get into the last part of this. As above, so below. As within, so without. Let's get into what's happening around us presently. So let's share the World of Tarot. This happens to just be one of the cards in there. So right now, I don't think that some of us realize the parts of the reality that we're in, because we're always bringing these three angles together, especially for the collective. I think collective, we're still looking at ourselves from three different angles. It's something that I'm only just now getting into mastering, and I wouldn't call myself an ascended master in it. I would just say it is my goal to always look at every intersection at three angles. That's clarifying the boredom that we got into, and the fact that, oh yeah, so we made some decisions trying to be fearless, but only deceiving ourselves, right? We were fearless enough to create it, but we deceived ourselves. Okay, so let's look at the future here with the Ten of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Fool. This state that we want to be in, and we know we want to be in it, but we're approaching it in a very playful manner. Is this because we doubt ourselves, collective, or is this because we're just, So the Five of Swords. We feel drawn to it. We know it's meant for us, but at times we feel as though we have to fight to get there. And we don't have to fight for what is ours, family. We'll never have to fight for what is ours. I feel I have to remind myself that too. And I had this conversation with my partner in the car, is that I literally do feel as though sometimes I have to fight for what is in my internal world. You don't have to do that. Judgment is the Trinity, the Father, Mother, Child. And once we create with something, only that creates the true judgment against your mind's world. I hope that you oversee this message. Meaning that you receive it. You came out of that feeling. You know what I'm talking about. You don't have to fight for what's yours. And if you have to remind yourself that, do it, because I do it all the time. When you feel like you have to fight for what's yours, always keep in mind that there's two things that aren't being discussed from one of those three angles. Two things that are being discussed, and one thing that's not. So maybe two people against one. If you ever feel that way, just know that it's not a fair battle. And so therefore, it's an internal battle that only finds its sense of judgment through its most high, right? Most high would be most high state. Most high state would be something that would allow you to see yourself outside of it, so you wouldn't get lost in its currency, lost in its wave. So again, something that you're magnetically drawn to and you overthink it through multiple times. You have the Two of Pentacles, and this is going to be the advice here. The Two of Pentacles. Sorry, guys. Mars is getting the charger.
Thank you.
Love you too, love. I got to tell the people why I look crazy right now.
Because we're packing.
Yeah, we are packing. I'm so excited just to have like 3 suitcases. Thanks, love. It's just, I was telling him earlier, it's like something I wanted. You know, it's not what I imagined. It's not my dream world, but it was something I intended. You know, it was something that I really made a focus to create. I mindfully created with my mind. You know, I set in its world that this is what, it's the world for me. I don't know why we had to interrupt the reading that way to insert that, but maybe that message is for someone. Thank you so much for hanging out with me so long. It is 40 minutes and we're getting into the advice. So the Two of Pentacles. I'm going to try to merge the timelines quickly and then I'll let you go. Thanks again. Two of Pentacles here. So our advice is to juggle the worlds, merging timelines. You know, juggle your, make sure you can manage your own reality apart from those that you vibe with, whether this is at work, at home, and even in relation for those of us who feel like we're vibing in 2 different mind worlds when it comes to relationships. Romance, it's a very tough subject, but yes, 2 different sailors. So in which other way you feel like someone else is sailing up against you, work on that, because just like in the last reading when I gave you the mother-daughter scenario, sometimes that becomes the sense of wholeness. Looking through it with compassion, you already become that third angle, because you see how you are, you see how they are, and then you come out of its individuality to bring some sense of oneness. And then that oneness brings you to the light. Something that would just not allow you to get wrapped back into its cycle. Two of Pentacles. Yep. It's the I am energy. Thank you for closing out the reading on such a powerful note. Most High. Overall, right now, there may be some things that we're coming into understanding for ourselves. And it happens to be regarding these times when we felt powerless. And those times will be shown to us within polarity. So look out for that, family. Look out for the times when you see yourself in a circle or in a space with someone who doesn't feel like you, and practice your way of standing tall and firm in your individuality, but also feeling for that person in a sense where you become their light. You become the world that shows them how to be themselves, because you are identifying with the time when you'd have to let go of something. Let's merge the timelines really quick. I feel like we're all over the place, and every time I get out of the reading, I do feel like we're all over the place. But for some reason, I also know that it is just passing. Like there's a lot of things that are just passing through us during the separation of the parting of the seas. And at least I hope that you feel like a lot of it is just passing through. Because if you do feel like it's just passing, then you won't get wrapped up in its currency. You won't feel as though you're in the loop, the ever-standing loop. You'll then create your exit, your individual exit. I said I was going to go back through it, but honestly, I'd feel like I'd be beating a dead horse. And we're already 44 minutes in. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this reading up and hope for the best. I'll also rewatch it to see what I feel like you're going to think as you listen to this message. Will it make sense to any of you? I hope so. And for the collective, Thank you for sharing time and space. I know that we have worked and come a very long way to manage our own 144 frequency, but we fought for that. We owned the 12 disciples, the 12 zodiacs, the 12 zodiac the 12 zodiac signs. I can't. Maybe I just need to get out of the reading. We owned our 12 classes, right? Our 12th grade school. In whatever angle you minimize this 144 frequency, you earned it. And so you make sure you maintain it with every sense of fight in your I am energy. Thank you so much. You take care of yourself until next time. Bye.